Welcome to the shop. Hope you're having a great day. Woof. Alright, we made it to 5K subs, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And I said for a long time, when I make it to 5K subs, I'll finally tell the story about my arm. Though I'm pretty sure most of you know what happened or have an idea of what happened and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to tell, but I'm sure most of you want to hear it from me. First, let me say I got 5 knives available up on my website. I got shirts up there, Amazon links to all the tools I use, all that stuff. So let's get all that out of the way. If you're not subscribed and not part of the 5K, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and, like or dislike this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you were right on or if it's changed the way you look at me as a person. So that kind of gives detail of what's going on. So let me first say, I don't have a criminal record. I think when I was 18, I got arrested for drunk in public, and I don't even drink. I've never been a big drinker. But, yeah, it was like when my dad just had quadruple bypass surgery and was in the hospital, and my best friend's dad died when he was younger, and we got drunk, and we're just being belligerent, and, yeah, so that's the only charge I have. There was another time I got arrested because my friend stole a case of beer, and it was in Virginia Beach, and they were beating the hell out of him. The cops were beating the hell out of him, and I yelled out, "Police brutality!" This was back in like 90, before. No, I think this was the year after the riots and all that down in Virginia Beach. But anyway, so yeah, they took me and they charged me with drunken disorderly, and I hadn't even drinking that night, but all those charges got dropped, so that's probably not on there anyway. I'm rambling. I just want to set in stone my life because, I'm pretty sure everyone knew I was a heroin addict for over 20 years. Let's see. Yeah, I started in like 89. Then I moved to Virginia Beach, and I didn't really do it, but when I came back in 94, I was pretty much head in. I just dabbled with it because I was in a whole bunch of bands. In fact, I'll put the videos up here of my old band and stuff like that. You can see. Then 2 years later, the guy with the long hair OD'd in my arms because I didn't know he had taken a bunch of Xanax and stuff like that. And I just got ripped off for 2 bags. He's like, "Here, I'll buy you some bags. Let's go down." And so that happened, and he OD'd like right in front of me. And, well, I called the ambulance, and he fell out of my car. I knew he was going out, but I had 10 bags of dope on me, so I called the ambulance as I'm driving home, and by the time I came back, he was gone, and they called me the next day and said he's dead. It was pretty messed up, and from there, I kind of spiraled for a while. But the thing is, I always worked. I always worked for my habit. And, before heroin, I had a lot of problems with depression and a lot of problems with overthinking. As you can tell, if you watch my videos of, I'm always talking about OCD and overthinking everything. And, my brain doesn't turn off. So having a normal job wasn't something I could do. Because, I still, now I take care of my mom, but I don't fall asleep till 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I get up at noon. So there's not too many normal jobs or good paying jobs that you can work it. And heroin turned my brain off. So I'd be the first person to work every morning. I'd do my shot at 5 a.m. I'd go to work. I'd work all day. When I got home, I had to go downtown or meet my person or whatever. And by the time I got home at 8 o'clock, I'd do my shot and then be to sleep. And I was actually a normal person for once in my life. I was very pro-heroin for many years. Because, like I said, it made me a normal person. Now, there's a lot of bad things that came with it. Like, I got stabbed and been robbed, had my teeth kicked in, and guns pointed at me, been shot at, and you know, this is only, this started at like 2012 or so, because they started cutting the dope with meat tenderizer, and my veins are gone. If you look, I got scars from my feet all the way up, big old holes in my arms. You can see they all run right down my veins. That's why I'm pretty sure people knew exactly, what it is. My legs are the same. I got big holes all the way from my toes all the way up. My whole body is just covered in scars from, needles and all that. And I got on methadone for a while, which, man, methadone is evil. It's a necessity, but it's evil. It took me years to get off of methadone. And see, that was the problem, and that's why my arms weren't really messed up, because I could be on methadone most of the week and then just go like once or twice a week and get my dope. But like I say, dope for me wasn't like, you're out just getting high to get high. It was actually me treating myself, so I can work and so I can be a normal person. My brain doesn't turn off, so heroin made me normal. In fact, I used to look into it like Canada and Switzerland. I even had my methadone counselor be like, you need to move to Switzerland. Because, I knew a lot of messed up junkies. And in fact, a lot of junkies I know are good people at heart. But once the drug gets to them, it changes everything about them. And they'll rob you, they'll steal you, they'll sell you to anybody just to get that fix. I just never, no, I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm sure there's a lot of bad things I did. I drove a lot of people to do stuff. So it's not like I wasn't doing criminal activities. I was just kind of smart about it. Or actually, I was actually more scared about getting caught and being sick. And I had good friends that always had jobs that, would hire me. Because I'm a hard worker. And that's the one thing I had in my favor. And that's the hardest part. And that's why I got on methadone. Because once the money kind of runs out, or you get sick and you can't work, and then it's a big spiral out of control where you can't get work because you're sick. And you're sick because you can't work. So, man, I think in the 5 years I worked with my friend every day, where I was the first one to work and the last one to leave, I think I missed one day, and that's because my dealer ran out and I couldn't get anything. It should be legalized, not like it should be like in Switzerland, where it's medically administered. If you need to go to a clinic and get your daily shot twice a day, and that's the downside of heroin to methadone, where methadone, they only have to give it to you once, and heroin you have to take twice a day at least. But the Switzerland programs and the Canadian programs, drug use has actually dropped. Crime has dropped, not completely, because not all crime is created by, junkies. But, man, the statistics of it working, and a lot of people get off of it. Which, I'll tell you, methadone, it took me like a year to get off methadone. I haven't done dope in 5 years. I've been off methadone for 2 in August. And I was coming down 1 milligram a month, and I still felt it. It was hard. I mean, it was rough. So, if you're starting out and you have a problem with addiction, then, man, try to do everything except methadone. And I went through programs, I went through rehabs. But see, the thing is, junkies will tell you they want to quit. But most of the time, they just want to get to the next fix. They'll tell you, I'll go to rehab tomorrow, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll get clean tomorrow, so they can get their fix today. And most of them are telling you things, and some of them will believe it themselves. Hey, I need to get clean, I need to do this. It depends on how bad it goes. Look what it took. It took me having open heart surgery and my mom having a stroke a year later that, made her whole side of her body incapacitated. And after my heart surgery, I was doing dope again, but then my mom had a stroke, and I was like, I can't go downtown and get dope because if something happens to me, then there's nothing that can be done for her. Now, the weird thing about being a junkie in DC, heroin was a misdemeanor charge. And it's funny because I knew all the bad spots for a while until I got a good connection. You know, I was downtown, you know, getting robbed and getting in good with the dealers and all that stuff. But, you know, even the cops, I'd be down in like the ghetto of the ghettos in DC, you know, southeast, you know, where Anacostia and stuff like that. Like, if you ever heard anything about DC and you hear Anacostia, you know it's not a good place. Or up on Georgia Avenue. So the cops, you know, when the cops would pull me over, they'd be like, what are you doing down here? You down here visiting a friend or something? I'd be like, no, I'm down here to get dope. I'd tell them straight up. You know, I didn't have anything on me, so there's nothing they could do. Alright, so that's it. I was a junkie for over 20 years. I don't know if the way you look at me is any different, or maybe better because I got out of it. And it wasn't something I was ashamed of, but I knew if I talked about it right off the bat, people would judge me. And people, you might not even want to judge me, but right when you hear a heroin addict, it changes the whole perspective of everything. Whether you want it to or not, that's just how it is, you know? And I understand that. You know, I have a past. I'll tell you, the hardest part about being a junkie is all your friends write you off. People, all your closest friends know you're going to die. You know, there's that saying, junkies either end up dead or in jail. Well, somehow I made it through. I've come close to both plenty of times, but I'm still here. I got a big zipper down my chest, and my whole body is scarred, but I'm here. That's what happens, you know. I've been through the war, and I came out a lucky man. And I don't blame my friends for not being there. It's not like they could be there, because I didn't want them to be there. Because you know what your friends do? They say, we want you to get clean. You have to get clean. You're going to die. You have to get clean. Well, I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to get clean. I would cry and be like, okay, and do everything I could to convince them I'm going to get clean tomorrow. And then they'd go away. You know, and that's the hardest part about trying to get someone clean. It's easy to be there the first night when they're sick. Maybe even the second night when they're sick. But eventually, you're going to have to go back to your life, and they're going to go back to dope. My friends wrote me off. And a lot of people wrote me off. But I'm here. And like I said, it took my mom's stroke and me almost dying to be the only way I got out. So there it is. Junkie Dave. I was a normal person for once in my life. Even if you watch my videos now, you know I'm not very normal. I'm a way out of the box thinker, and I got really crazy ideas, and I never stop thinking, and my OCD is whack. So to be actually normal was good for me. But at what cost, you know? My arm's all messed up. I can't even hold a pick. I've been a musician since I was 5, and I can't even hold a pick. I gotta relearn how to do everything. I've had to relearn everything and make a whole new start. So I figured everyone would want to know about my arm, so there it is. Thanks again for the 5K subs, and I really appreciate it. Back to knife making. I took a few days off and got lazy, and 1 or 2 days turned into 3 days. So, time to get back to knives. I hope you guys stick around to share this. Maybe you have a friend that's, you know, going through the struggle. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I've got a lot of friends that have been in jail that, you know, turned their lives around. But if someone doesn't want to get clean, they're not going to get clean. It doesn't matter how much you do to them. It has to be their decision. Something has to happen that they want to change. And that's the only way it happens. If not, people will stay clean for a couple months, maybe even a year, then go back to it. I never had clean stretches because I never wanted to get clean. I just wanted people to get off my back. So I would do things to do that, and then boom, I'd be right back to it. Girlfriends, I haven't had a girlfriend for years because that's the one regret. My one regret, I never let people try heroin. People come and, hey man, I'll buy you $100 worth if you get me something. And I would say no. But there was one girlfriend I had, and she kept trying to get me off, you know. And I would kick, and I would kick, and I would make it like a month, and then I'd get back on it, and stuff would happen, and we'd break up, and, you know, and I would just get messed up. And it finally came to, instead of her getting me clean, I let her try it. And that's like the one mark on my soul that has plagued me from the end of time. You know, I have no criminal record, I have no this, but the one person I loved the most, I got messed up on dope. And she's off of it now, thank God. But, yeah, that's the one blight on my soul. Anyway, that's it for the stories. Make sure to like, comment, let me know what's going on. If you've got a different opinion about me, different outlook on me, you can be honest, I can take it. You know, I know in a lot of people's eyes I'm just some scumbag junkie, but hey, I might be some junkie, but I know a lot of people out there that drink, and we'll get it. I won't even get started on the whole alcohol versus heroin thing, you know, because alcohol is the worst drug that ever came along, and it's legal. Anyway, alright, thanks for watching. Hope that clears everything up. Time to get back to knife making. I guess I'll put the Q&As right here, and my website's right there. Hope y'all having a great day, and as always, take it easy.